Staffs and students, I extend hearty welcome to you to this session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Vaishak, I think we can start now.
Yes, ma'am, we can start. So
I'll start sharing my screen.
Yes, ma'am, you can do it.
Share. Is it visible? I guess it is.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
No. Is it visible to all?
No, ma'am.
Vaishak?
Yeah, there is ma'am, please refresh. Can you reshare?
You can stop screen sharing and start.
I will do that. I will do that. I have stopped sharing. Okay. Now, shall I share again?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Okay. How is that now? Still some problem?
Yes, ma'am, we can see it now.
You can see it? Okay.
Fine, ma'am, now.
It's fine? Okay, great. So a very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you to DMIS Principal Management and the Student Council for having me here. Let's see if I can interest some students into a career in fisheries. So I hope all of you are familiar with those two fishes that you see on the slide. Can just someone tell? I'm sure people are very familiar with those two. Anyone? Vaishak, come on, you can answer. Do you know their names?
I know.
Vaishak is, yeah.
And this is Nemo, right? And Dory.
Correct.
Dory, exactly. Nemo is the one in orange, the orange fish, and Dory is the blue fish. Great. So I hope all of you have seen the movies, and I myself wondered, and I hope all of you wondered, how did these people in the movie get so much information about what is life below the water? How do these fish behave, or their feeding habits, their ecology, their ecosystems, and things like that. See, when I was wondering, and I went online, I was looking. 1 second. My slides don't seem to be moving. Yeah. Okay, so apparently the art team of the movie had to take courses in marine biology, oceanography, ichthyology, and scuba diving. So that is precisely what I am here to talk to you about this huge field of fisheries. I'm sorry, now they have gone up. Yeah. So this huge field of fisheries, aquatic and fishery science, which actually is a very wide field of science with amazing career opportunities. But a lot of people are not much aware of this field. So I'm thankful to the movie makers. They brought out such a lovely movie that people now are more keen, even kids, they're more keen about this entire field of science. So today my talk will be about fishery science, and it's a science where you learn everything that is there about fish. What are the different types of fish out there? What are the different ecosystems? How do these fish grow? What do they eat? How do they reproduce? How do you catch them? And what do you do with them once you catch them? Like, how do you preserve them? What are the different products that you can make out of them? So there's a huge field of science out there. And but unfortunately, whenever you tell people, oh, I have done my study in fisheries, and they're like, fisheries, why would you do that? Fish just stink, and what is there in fisheries? That's a very common reaction that I get from people. So I'm like, why study fisheries? Because it's something different, of course. And you're working in an ecosystem, or you're working with an ecosystem which is the largest in the world. Water covers 2/3 of the planet. So you're working with an ecosystem that is the largest in the world, and fish is food, and food is never out of fashion. Okay, and a lot of people may not know, but fisheries is a major employer globally. There are more than 59 million people working in that sector alone globally. And it is one of the most traded commodities in the world. So that means fish is a very valuable item. It has immense potential for jobs and careers, but people are still somehow not much aware about it, even though a lot of people do eat fish. So let's see if I can interest you about some of the career options in fisheries. So when I say fisheries, obviously you have to have some kind of fisheries education. So I'll give you a small exposure about fisheries education in India, primarily, and a little bit about studying fisheries in the rest of the world, in other countries. So in India, fisheries education started at the Central Institute of Fisheries Education, which is in Bombay. That was established in 1961. So imagine that came up in 1961. So that means fisheries education has been in India for so many decades now. And currently we have over 25 fisheries colleges. The first one was this one at Mangalore. It came up in 1969. And the one in blue, is College of Fisheries, Panangad, Kerala, where I did my fisheries education. So when I say fisheries education, the basic degree is the Bachelor of Fisheries Science, BFSC. It's a 4-year professional degree program. And in this 4-year degree program, you learn everything, like I said earlier, everything about fish that you need to know. So, learn identification of fish, their biology. Technology means, what are the different equipments that you need to catch fish efficiently? How do you process them? And there's some amount of statistics and maths thrown in there. And you also have to know swimming, which I'm sure most of you know. If not, swimming is definitely part of the coursework. And towards the end of the 4-year program, you have a 6-month field work experience where you have a hands-on exposure to the different industries in the sector. Now, after your BFSC program, you can go for a 2-year master's program. It's known as Master of Fisheries Science, MFSC, and you can specialize in one of the branches of fisheries in MFSC. Some people also go for an MBA degree, some like in agribusiness or associated degrees like that. Or also you can also go for a PhD program, that's the Doctor of Philosophy, and follow that with a postdoctoral fellowship. So these are the courses that you can do in fisheries. So what is the eligibility? You have to have studied science till your class 12. And biology is compulsory. And since this is a professional degree program, you have to write an entrance to get into this course. So now each state has a different entrance exam these days. Earlier, when I used to write, it was slightly different. The medical and agricultural courses, the entrance was the same. Now the medicine has gone into the NEET exam, and there are separate agricultural entrance exams for each state. So you write that. Or you can also write the All India ICR exam, which through which 15% of the seats are allotted. So you can either go for the state level entrance exam, you can go for the ICR exam, or you can go for both. So depending on how you score, you get allotted your place in the PFSC program. Now, since you're already outside India and you're not very keen on studying back in India, you will be very surprised that almost every country in the world, at least one university, offers a course in fisheries. It may be called separately. It may be called fisheries, marine biology, aquatic science, aquatic and fisheries science. But you will see that almost most of the countries in the world offer courses in fisheries, and you may have a 4 or 3-year long undergraduate program, and then you can go for graduate programs, a master's followed by a PhD. And the best part is that because very few foreign students actually apply for fisheries courses, there is very less competition, and you have a very good chance of getting a full scholarship, which actually makes life very easy if you go to some very expensive countries to study, like the US. So I've just put some logos here for some of the popular universities from the US, from Australia, from Canada, from Japan. But if you go out there and just explore, you will see that every country has fantastic programs in fisheries, and you actually may not have to pay from your pocket to study there. Okay, so once you're, so just wanted to show, this is the School of Aquatic and Fishery Sciences. I did my master's here. This is in USA, in Seattle, city called Seattle. And they have a fantastic undergraduate program if anyone is keen on that. So this is their website. The URL is fish.uw.edu. And it's one of the top schools of fisheries in the world. You can, you have all chances of getting a very good scholarship. And, and you can, what should I say, just take a look at the website and see the courses that they offer, the kind of diversity of the students that study there. It's a fantastic place to study. So once you're done with your studies, what about your career options? Obviously. So then you can either go into research, you can go into academics, or there are a lot of other options as well. So if it is research, I'll be talking primarily about the situation in India. In India, fisheries research primarily is either through government agencies or through non-government organizations. So within the government, especially the central government, there are a couple of ministries where fisheries graduates have options for a good career. So the first one is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Then there's Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Then Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change, Ministry of Science and Technology, and there are certain other ministries as well. Now, I'll talk about agriculture and farmers welfare a little bit more in detail. So Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare has a Department of Agricultural Research and Education under it. And under that comes the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. It is the premier research organization in India dealing with agricultural research. Now, ICR has a number of divisions, under which one of them is the Fisheries Division. And the Fisheries Division has 9 fisheries research institutes under it. So these are the logos of the 9 research institutes. I work with Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute. Marine means anything to do with the sea. There are other institutes which deal with freshwater fish, certain institutes which deal with aquaculture, that means growing fish, how the science involved in that. And then there's another one which deals with fish genetics, another one with fishing technology, another one which is purely for cold water fisheries. And the last one is the one I said earlier, the one in Mumbai for fisheries education. So how do you get into these institutes? Well, recently they have changed the eligibility criteria. So you have to have a PhD to get into these organizations. So once you have your PhD, you have to write an all India exam. And once you score good marks in that, you'll be called for an interview. And once you score well in the interview and you're selected, you will be posted as scientists, entry level scientists into the agricultural research service. We are similar to the, almost like you can say something in the, you have heard of the Indian Administrative Service or the IAS. We similarly belong to the Agricultural Research Service. Okay, so this is how you get into these organizations. So recently, since the criteria has changed, PhD is the basic eligibility. Now, there is in 2019, Government of India started this Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. That too has a Department of Fisheries, and there are a couple of organizations under that as well. But not all deal with research. Some of them, like the Fisheries Survey of India, do deal with research. But others have, like for example, NFDB is a funding agency mainly or a development agency. But you still have options for a good career in these organizations as well. Then there are other government agencies as well. Each state has a fisheries department, so you can apply for jobs there. There is the Marine Products Export Development Authority, MPIDA, which comes under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. There are fisheries development corporations, and there's a organization, Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services at Hyderabad, where they integrate fisheries, satellite technology, oceanography. I hope the next speaker, Rajendran sir, may talk about INCOIS in his talk. So government agencies are there, other government. And then suppose you're not much into research, you find research boring, you can always look for an academic career where you might end up teaching people as faculty members. So there are state agricultural universities in the country, as well as traditional universities where you can apply for jobs and be accepted as faculty members. Now, if you're not much into that as well, there are other opportunities also. You can enter banks as specialized in specialized jobs like agricultural or fisheries officers. There are certain institutions like NABARD and SIDBI, which are development finance institutions. They develop large scale projects for the development of the country. You are eligible for jobs in that as well. Then the private sector, there's a vibrant private sector with fish processing industry. There's a fish culture. Fish culture means fish farming, essentially, growing of fish. Okay? And then there's like, you've seen sea life parks and marine parks and huge aquariums, places like that where you can work. Then there's a huge NGO sector in India, the non-governmental organization like the WWF, Greenpeace, Dakshin Foundation. I mean, there's a huge list of NGOs out there where also you can look for good jobs. Then instead of looking for jobs, you can be a job creator instead of a job seeker. So you can be an entrepreneur and you can have your own shrimp or fish farms. You can have your own processing plants, hatcheries. You can have a feed company and supply feed to all these farms. You can be a consultant. So there's like tons of options for you. And finally, there are a lot of international organizations out there. I've just listed a couple of them. That's like just the tip of the iceberg, so to say. That there are organizations like SARC, then there are international fishery management organizations like IOTC. There are intergovernmental organizations like BOBP. Then I don't know if you heard of the IUCN. It's the International Union for Conservation of Nature. So these organizations also are very good places for fisheries graduates to look for jobs. So if you love wildlife, especially aquatic life, if you want to do something different, not your normal medicine and engineering, and if you love exploring the deep blue unknown, then fisheries is your future. I think that's it. Thank you very much. And once again, a big thanks to the principal and the student council for having me here. And congrats to the student council for coming up with this career awareness week. It's a really good idea. And I'm hoping that I can get it done in my daughter's school as well. So good luck to all of you. Thank you. Thank you. I will
Thank
stop.
you, Dr. Mukta, for such wonderful brief, but opened up really a new world of opportunities to us. Definitely, students will make best use of all the information that you have shared, and we are really thankful to you. Thankful to you.
Thank
On
you.
behalf of the management, I extend deep gratitude to you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Students, if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourselves and ask ma'am.
It was very clear and so much new information. Students must be thinking about it. So if there is more, I think we can share through mail to ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am?
If more information, I think students can mail if you don't
Absolutely,
mind.
absolutely. You can just get in touch with Vaishak. I'll pass on my mail ID and other details to him. So if anyone is interested or if anyone is feeling shy to ask questions now, no worries.
Because so much new information.
And yeah, absolutely. I'm sure a lot of you people eat fish. So next time you eat fish, think about my talk also and see
Definitely.
how much.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Vaishak?
actually, we have received some questions regarding
Okay,
Yes.
carry on.
So, ma'am, some students are asking, most people shun away from the government sector due to its low pay scale and, somewhat slow pace. So, what is your opinion about this? Can you comment on this?
Frankly, it depends on your priority. I mean, absolutely true. If your priority is making money, don't come there. Frankly, I'll be very open about that. But if you want to do something fulfilling and you feel that you want to contribute to society uh, in a formal setup, okay, which where money is not that much of an issue for you, I believe the government sector is really good. I mean, especially for research. I mean, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Ma'am, then what qualities do you think a person working in research or interested in joining research should have?
Frankly, I don't look for any fast results. Okay, it doesn't come immediately. So be ready to work hard, be systematic, be very open and open to ideas and open to teamwork. So, and don't expect like, oh, if suppose you have a friend who's gone into IT and you see them making money and oh, he has a car, he has a big house, he has this, he has that. I didn't get all this year. Why did I come here? That kind of comparison should never happen. If you feel that you love the ocean or the love nature and you want to work with that, you want a fulfilling career in that way, definitely. So anyone going into research, any research should look for hard work and a long duration effort. Yeah.
Ma'am, you have done your post graduation abroad, yeah? So,
Yes.
most people settle abroad when they think
I
about the
was
career perspective.
I was expecting that. Yeah. For me, actually, I get that question all the time. Like, why did you come back here? You could have settled in the US. So, For me, I think studying abroad was just to get that exposure. How is life in a different country? At that time, I mean, I was fully in India before that. And then I went outside. 3 years I spent, and it was real fun. But then I always had this key, nahi, I have to come back to India and I have to work in India. I mean, I think I never, the decision was always there. So yeah, so I think maybe that's my individual case. There are a lot of people from my college who've gone outside and settled, especially in the US. So yeah, I'm an odd one out.
Great, ma'am. Great. Ma'am, which place, in your opinion, is the best place with regard to location to work in your profession?
uh, Please, come on, that's difficult. But I personally love the ocean. So for me, any coastal area is good enough to work. So yeah, totally.
Great, ma'am. Great. Ma'am, can you comment on the most rewarding factor in your profession?
I think the ocean, people say, I think Rajan sir will say like space is the unknown frontier. And, I still feel we haven't discovered even 1/10 of the secrets of the sea. So I feel whenever I see a new species or something new that I learned from, for me, that is something so huge that, oh, wow, I was able to observe that natural phenomenon and something happening underwater. And I was able to capture that and I was able to observe that. For me, that's fine. That is, yeah.
Uh, yes, ma'am. Can you comment on the other options of research in the marine field other than the fisheries?
Yes, there are actually, since I am dealing with fisheries, I have concentrated only on that. But there's a lot of non-fish things also out there in the water. Okay, so there's like bacteria, there's viruses, there are plankton, there's which are tiny organisms in the sea, both phytoplankton and zooplankton. So there's a lot of options for you to work on those groups as well. And now, if you see, they're using even remote sensing to estimate those kind of things in the water. So the scope for non-fisheries activities is equally huge. And with technology getting, more and more smart, there's like tons of stuff you can do. But yeah.
Great, ma'am. Great, ma'am. Can you elaborate a bit more on your role as a scientist in society? How you feel scientists contribute more in society?
Particularly like with my profession and my job as a scientist, I work in the marine fisheries sector. So what I primarily do is try to assess the fish stock of, like, I am personally, we are posted at Andhra Pradesh. So from the commercial landings, what the fishermen bring to the shore, we try to assess how much is there in the sea to have given us so much, catch. So from that, we see, is this level of fishing okay? Is it good enough? Or is it actually causing harm to the fish? Or is it okay? You guys are doing fine time. So that is my primary role. So I think in the long run, our work adds to that key. Okay, we are fishing sustainably. So we estimate that sustainability of our fishery. So imagine if suppose they were going to fish like unsustainably and finally at the end of the day you have hardly any fish left and you have all these fishermen who are hungry because they don't have any livelihood option. So I think that is my biggest contribution, assessing the stocks, looking for sustainable fishing and promoting sustainable fishing.
Great, ma'am. So I think working in the field of marine in fisheries as well has a lot of environmental impact, and has a lot of
Absolutely.
sustainable options. We are actually
Yes.
preserving the environment through that field.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Great, great. Students, if you have any more doubts, please feel free to unmute and ask ma'am here. Or if you're shy, you can just mail ma'am. I'll be sharing email details. So
Absolutely.
that's it, ma'am. Any final words, any final message that you would give to any aspiring person in the research field?
No, just work hard. Just be happy in what you do, and So just take your time and make the choice. Don't rush into things because people tell you to do it. Be happy with your choice. Understand yourself. Make a wise choice and be happy in that and work hard. Rest everything will be fine.
Great, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us here, ma'am. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
everyone
Thank
learned a
you.
lot. It was really wonderful.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye
Ma'am, once
bye.
again.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Vaishak. I think
Yes. Yeah.
Rajendran sir is already there with us. Sir, hearty welcome to you.
I'm here, yes.
Yeah. Um, Dear students, so from underwater world, we are traveling to, as to quote Rajendran sir's word, to unknown world of space. Actually, sir, all are so excited to hear from you. As we see, your profile is super exciting to everyone. Dear students, please note, Rajendran sir is former Deputy Director of RLV Projects, Reusable Launch Vehicle Projects. It's a mission of ISRO. He's also very much associated with Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, which is a major space research. No introduction is required for that also. He has also worked as professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering, Jawaharlal College of Engineering Technology in Kerala. So a lot of exposure, a truly resourceful person with us. And sir, we are highly honored to have your presence with us today. On behalf of entire DMS management, staff, students, I extend hearty welcome to you to this session. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Dear students of Doha Modern School, I'm very happy to address you today because I find it very interesting to interact with students, especially on the activities of space research, because that is an area which was not very much open to public for general informations. Many classified activities are happening, but now many of the things are open. But there was a time when the know-how was kept a secret, and many countries were racing with their own efforts, starting from the grassroots level without much know-how sharing. So that situation has changed now. So space research activity is a very challenging area, very challenging area, because it is unlike other research activities. It requires a lot of passion. It requires a lot of commitment, because you don't know certain things which you are going to find out through your dedicated effort. And that takes you 24/7. You cannot treat this job as a normal 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 type of a job. So research is always like that, because you will not have sleep in the research field, because always the problem will haunt you till you get the solution. And this space program is entirely different, because you are handling very exotic materials, very exotic subject. The basic research without much literature, that was the scenario when I was introduced to this area. I started my career in this area in 1971. Sorry, 72, 71 I passed out, and I was doing my PG. At that time I got a call, got an interview call, and I appeared and got through. And then I was with ISRO since 1972 till 2010. It was a long innings, and I was exposed to almost all the programs of ISRO, ISRO. My personal experience I can share with you. My first day started with a challenging assignment. I was fresh from college without any experience, no exposure to the practical aspects of engineering, with only book knowledge, like a student like you, just passed out. I was asked to design a pressure vessel, because rocket is a pressure vessel basically. Rocket technology, you must be studying in some classes. I think you will be knowing the fundamental. I will not be justified in dealing with the fundamentals of that, so I skipped that. So when I was exposed to actual task of designing a pressure vessel, the first thing I did was just go to library, find the related topics, just have a survey. What is a pressure vessel? How it is handled, this type of an activity. So the first time I am getting an information about the ASME code. There is an ASME code, international standard, on which you have to design. This is not taught in the college classes. The teachers also do not have much exposure in the practical field. They also study, they also get a pass, get a degree, they get a job in the college and study, and and they teach. Of course, they study and teach, because for whatever they want to talk in the classroom for 1 hour, they have to work for 2 hours with the textbooks and the notes they have. And that is only an academic affair. So when I started my career, I could get the pinch of what is it really. So went through the books, went through new areas, and that started like that. And it has been a really very tough activity for a beginner especially. And slowly I picked up, and I got a type of development, a personality development with a very different sort of understanding and conviction about the type of activity. You should have not only book knowledge, you should be a very good leader, a team leader, because all the activities are done not individually, it's a team. A team should do the job. Individuals are not important there. The team is important. At the same time, individuals contribute to formation of the team. So all individuals are equally important. And the team leadership qualities, managerial aspects, all those things has to be developed. And now you are in the 9th standard to 12th standard I am addressing. I tell you, whatever you study inside the classroom is only very, very limited part of it. There are a lot of things to study from outside the four walls, the boundaries of the class. You have to be with your eyes kept open, your mind ready to receive, and you should keep on observing, analyzing. You should be able to develop a way of, a method of forming questions, asking questions, finding answers. Capability to put a question. That is the basic requirement. I find in my career in an engineering college, later when I went to an engineering college, I thought, instead of after the activity in the ISRO, I thought I will use my experience for the benefit of the students. So that's how I started working again in a college. But surprisingly, I tell you, most of the students in the classroom, they are not able to make a frame a question on a subject. So that is what is lacking. You must be able to form questions. You must be able to develop an analytical mind. You must be able to resolve problems and then find solutions. And that training should be imparted from the very start. And that is a basic requirement with supposed to be with all successful students. There are so many types of students. Some people, their aspirations are less. Some have more aspirations. Some may like to be this and that, and they might already define what their future is supposed to be. But there are majority of the people who are not in that condition. They don't know. They are simply flowing with the flow, the wind. And the exam is the only target to make some pass marks or some sort of level they want to pass on. But that alone will not help. So this is a study from my own experience. The lesson I can give you. Your merit matters. It's not only in the space research, wherever you go, the merit matters. Based on merit only, you will be accounted. If you don't know certain things, nobody will respect you. Your knowledge is respected, not you. So wherever you go, your value depends on your abilities. If you are a person who can be dependent by the management or by the authorities, you will be liked and you will be valued. If your capabilities are less, then survival will be a difficult task. So you will not be able to survive because competition is so much. In ISRO, all people are highly qualified, coming from various fields where they have proved their mettle. So competition is very, very high. And survival is also equally difficult for people who are not up to the mark. So I am once again stressing you to be meritorious, for which you have to have exposure to various things other than the classroom. That's one point I want to stress. Now, from 72 onwards, I have been working in, first I started with the ignition systems for solid rockets. First the solid propellant rockets were there, and later development went for liquid propellant rockets. Certain terms or things which you may not be able to follow, forget it. Whatever is possible, you follow. Some terminologies you may not be able, because we have our time also limited. So I will just tell you. So liquid propulsion, then satellites started developing, then sounding rockets. So there are so many purposes for the rockets and satellites. The end use, depending upon the customer. Now ISRO is launching for other countries also, you know that. And ISRO, ISRO, short form, we call it ISRO. It is a big achiever in the national level. You cannot find another organization equal to ISRO, because it has got a different sort of work culture developed by very, very dedicated people. Like, you must be able to tell the name of Kalam. So Kalam was there when I joined. Kalam was there as a project director for one stage of a satellite launch vehicle. The first is SLV-3, SLV, satellite launch vehicle. So he was the project. Later he became project director for that with all the 4 stages. And then in 81 or 82 he left. So I had opportunity to be associated with him for about 10 years. And there was so much to study from him. Of course, I am not talking about one individual. I only just bringing one example. So his contribution to the growth, to the developments, to the achievements of ISRO is not small. He only has shaped the work culture in ISRO, which ultimately is giving the end result, which is always a success. Every time you launch a rocket and put a satellite in the orbit, it happens to be a success only because the effort, dedication, knowledge, know-how, the mind behind it, all those things are so sharp and so refined through these sort of efforts and hopes of these and well wishes of these great souls. So Kalam is always remembered for his contributions. Unlike many people, he was 24 hours on the job. He had cash leave, he had earned leave. All these were lapsing. He never used one leave. And he doesn't have a time specified for the office. He will be working there in the midnight in the office. He will be there. So that is the passion. Of course, many people may not be able to follow him, but that is a target one should aim at. You may aim, but you may not achieve, but that will lead you, to give you a direction. So let me stop talking about him, because if I start talking, I will be talking endlessly on that person. He has influenced me, and majority of the people working in ISRO has been influenced by that great person. And the new generation, I wish if they start understanding him, then the destiny of this country will change. because that is the history behind his success. The way from a fisherman community, an ordinary person with a newspaper distribution function in the early childhood, he has grown up to the president of India, a country like India. So that is merit. That is the type of person. He's highly inspirational for all students. And he was a person who was very much interested in interacting with all students wherever he goes. You'll be very much happy to talk to students, because he believed that the country will be better if the next generation is taken care of properly and nurtured properly. That was his mission. Now, coming back to our subject, you have a lot of, it is a multidisciplinary area. It is not a simple aerospace alone. You have got material science, you have got space physics, you have got all sorts of branches of engineering coming into the activity. We have got space physics laboratories here. We have got propulsion divisions, propellant divisions, basic R&D divisions, research and developments, testing. You have got integration, fabrication, assembly, inspection, quality control. So all departments of just conceiving an idea, designing a product, making it into physical form, qualifying it to a successful level, testing it, integrating it, and making a total rocket and a satellite, and integrate and testing it to the required reliability level with the proper confidence level of its success, and then making a mission and making it a success. That type of a job, each time it is being done. And earlier, a rocket launch was happening once in 2 years or so, but now 1 year we are having 8 or 10 launches. So to that level, our country has developed, and the infrastructure across the whole country has grown. And the annual budget of our activity, this space research organization, it may be of the order of few billions of US dollars, around, I don't remember exactly, but around 18,000 crores of rupees. Maybe that is the bulkiness of the commitment to this area. And as a country, because of the space research, we have grown from a very primitive level in a very faster way. As a frog leaping, we have been in the status of a developed country. I should tell you, in many areas, we are like a developed nation. And it was the dream of Kalam, 2020. You are used to say, by 2020, we should stand on our own foot, and we should be second to none. So that we have achieved to a certain extent, because such a complex country like India, with so many complexities, achieving this type of a growth is not a small thing. So in the field of rocketry, space science, satellites, and this high-tech area, we have achieved tremendous ways. And that is because of the dedicated efforts of so many good minds. And around 17,000 people are working in ISRO at various centers. We have got various centers at Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Trivandrum, Sriharikota, Hassan, Karnataka, because so many related functions are to be distributed and done in so many places. So all of these centers, one center is for launching rockets, that is Sriharikota. One center is for designing, developing rockets, that is Trivandrum, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Then one center is Liquid Propulsion Center at Valyamala. Then one is a testing facility, liquid engine test facility at Mahendragiri near Nagarkoil. Then Bangalore Satellite Center, total satellite activity is going at Satellite Center, Bangalore. Then Space Application Center at Ahmedabad. Then National Remote Agencies, Remote Sensing Agency, NRSA, National Remote Sensing Agency, that's at Hyderabad, and various other places like that. So many activities are spread across the country. And 17,000 people are distributed in all over these places. And all are equally competent, highly qualified people with the exposure to this area. And they don't have any holidays. There are instances when people want to go for their own marriage, their leave is denied. Such cases are also there. So it is like that. There is no greener pastures if you are looking for comfort zones. This is an area where that type of sacrifice is called for. There are people who have not utilized the meager benefits given by the government, like housing loan, for example. Some people do not have time to get the housing loan and make their own house. There are people like that. There are some people, as I told about Kalam, they are lapsing their leave. There are some people like that because they cannot take leave because their absence is not tolerated in the office. They want to be there. They have to be there, either by compulsion or by own will. So that is how the work is going on. It is a big commitment and passion. So, and that trend is continuing and the success is continuing. That is the reason for our continuous success. People's dedication and best efforts. As students, your interest to build a career, to plan your future. This is an area for people who have got a submission for the country, if you are patriotic, if you want to do something for the country, definitely this area will call you. But if you just want a job, you want a comfortable life, you want a first of the month a pay packet, you want to enjoy your holidays, I doubt this may not be the right place. But some people can be there, but that will not be a part of success. But what is needed is that type of a passion. So this area is like that. You must take interest, enjoyment, and you must be able to appreciate the country's desires to become, because this area, not many countries have been successful. Only 4 or 5 countries, say NASA, ESA, and Japanese, Chinese. Some people are there. Russia, America started, and India joined. Parallelly, European countries, then Japan, China. Only limited number countries are there in this area, and it's a tough competition going on. And the benefits are, of course, shared by the whole humanity. The benefits are plenty. Now there are a lot of possibilities because high-tech benefits are there in your various aspects. The day-to-day living, it is influenced. The space activity, the benefits are influenced for the common man, right from your disaster warning or your resource management or your medicine, your health management. Suppose you want to consult a doctor at America from India and discuss about your X-ray or your scan results and get a medical advice. It is possible. In seconds, you can make it. The satellite is the link media. You can do that. And distance education, your reconnaissance, your military aspects. So television, telephone, radio, all communication aspects, education systems, health area, oceanology, your upper atmosphere researches, your climatic aspects, various areas, whatever is. And the fisherman, for example, which location you have a good catch, satellite will tell him. He can go with his mobile and catch and come. So everywhere this is reflecting, and the common man's life has improved very much because of the space activity. And I must mention you, ISRO is under Department of Space, and Department of Space is under Prime Minister of India, and there is a chairman for ISRO, and under wing there are so many various other centers, as I told you, with various places, and there are also multiple departments and sections and areas, various activities. That's how it is being organized. So you can go to the website, ISRO website, and then you can get the informations. All things are available there for all these. Whatever I am telling now, you can find it there. Now, the job part of it, I mean, suppose you want to apply to join ISRO. There are two aspects. One is fresh from your studies. At the 12th standard onwards, if you want to enter, there is a way, because there is IIST, Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, IIST, Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, iist.ac.in. You will get full details. So they are conducting a undergraduate as well as a 5-year integrated dual degree course. One is a PG course, other is a graduate course. This is under an autonomous institution, IIST, of course affiliated to ISRO. And the students are taken from the entrance exam list, merit list, JEE Advanced, JEE GATE. So the national level competitive examination score is the deciding factor. So details of the various dates of application and then the related activities, everything will be available in the site. So you can visit iist.ac.in. ISRO you can visit in isro.gov.in. isro.gov.in. So various details what I am talking and much more you can always get from there. My experience, I have a lot of things to share, but with the limited time, much may not be possible. And your career, so this one, IIST is conducting the course for the +2 level students based on their merit and then the marks in the qualifying examination conducted by a approved board, a reputed board or a university, and Indian nationals only. That's another condition. And the marks, of course, for various categories, SC, ST, and these things, some relaxations may be there, but the general guidelines will be there in the site, and their expenses are borne by the institution, and they are absorbed in ISRO after the completion of the course, of course, based on merit and depending upon the number of vacancies. And whatever you study will not be a waste, even if you don't be absorbed in ISRO. And this studying in this institution will not be a waste. You will be in demand. So that is one way of entering into ISRO. Another thing is in the senior levels. So what I told now is in the entry level. And of course, they have got the MTech program, they have got PhD program, they have got postdoctoral program, all those things. Your interest is only entry level. Now, for people who are experienced in certain areas, suppose the ISRO wants to recruit, number of vacancies may be less, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, like that. They will be at times, depending upon the requirement, putting it in paper. Advertisements will be there, for which people may apply. After people may apply, and based on their merit, and then there is a written exam for them. Definitely, it will be a tough exam. And based on the written exam, they'll be called for. Some will be shortlisted and called for interview. And based on their performance, they'll be posted. That is a limited number of postings. So such people, parallel entry is also there. So from the base level entry, some parallel entry also, and some other higher grades also being done. So this is the 2 ways of entering into ISRO. So your interest may be to look into the IIST, Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology Institute, around 250, 300 or maybe 350 or so candidates in some of the engineering fields each year is being taken through this JEE entrance exam list. So you can appear for the entrance exam, and based on a good performance, you can come to ISRO. That is one way. Other one, after working in some other area, a similar qualification or experience which is suitable for ISRO, if they advertise, you can appear again. Another door for entry. These are the two common ways of doing. Then coming by deputation and all, maybe chairman level only. Some people from outside may come, but that's a different aspect. A very, very limited number of people can come like that. It does feel like that, but most of the people are promoted from the seniority level from the same organization most of the time. So that is about the career aspect here. And I have, of course, I have not discouraged people by telling that it is so much difficult. Once you are inside, you will be taken by that common atmospheric environment. You will be conditioned, and you will not be knowing the other aspects of it. You will go along with the mainstream, and based on your commitment to your activities, you will be enjoying it. It's a great privilege to work in ISRO. I am not giving you any different sort of impressions and making you feeling scared about it. Because hard work is a requirement, but that you will enjoy. Once you come here, you will definitely enjoy it. So that's a good field. You should strive for that. It is a challenging area. You can. Should I continue further, or you have some questions?
Yes, sir. We have actually 2 doubts for you.
Many areas I might not have touched by talking to you in an offhand way. Some of the points I may not have touched. If you want to ask certain things, you can definitely ask, because at this time it is only this much is possible.
Sure.
Sir, can you comment on the role of a computer science engineer in ISRO?
Oh, computer has got wonderful requirement. Computer engineers are there. So many computer engineers are there. You have got onboard computer, in the rocket. Everything is pre-planned, pre-programmed. All events are pre-programmed. Once your manual control is lost, once it is taken off, the whole thing, even before takeoff, there may be some 3-4 minutes earlier to that, onboard computer is taking command. The whole systems are checked, and then all events are programmed, sequenced through computers. So a lot of computer programming personnel are there in ISRO. So the role is, the major things are there from the control, guidance, avionics, your mission analysis, your simulation, all those things are highly sophisticated areas, and computer is a must. Without that, this cannot work, and all are programmed. So computer is there. Computer experts are having a major role here. Yes.
Hafiz, would you like to ask the next question?
What's the next question, anything?
Yes, sir. One more question. So can you discuss about any scope for biology students in ISRO?
Biology, yeah. See, biology people I have not seen much people in ISRO, but definitely, as I told you, every area has some opportunity in this field, because once you go to space, you can grow your own plants there, and biology makes a big role there. So you are going to colonize the space, and biology is definitely, and again, the human space program, human beings are taken to space. Now you already, ISS is the International Space Station. International Space Station, all the 365 days, people are there. It is manned by Americans, Russians are all there. People are there working. So the biological aspects are very, very important. Your body has to be conditioned. If you want to be an astronaut, if you want to go to space, It's a very tremendous effort. Physically, you have to take. You have to undergo a lot of training because it's a different area. You know, there is no gravity. It is a vacuum area, and the hard vacuum and this lack of gravity will make you something different. Your body will start rejecting your bones. You know, body will not feel weight. So the body will think there is no requirement of your bones. Your face will become, that is called moon face. That is a phenomenon. When you once you are in, in space, when there is no gravity, your face will become like this. Because lack of gravity, you will lose your weightlessness feeling will be there. Your body will behave differently, and to have a healthy life, healthy routine, you must be able to do certain specified exercises. So that's a very big training, and they have to undergo and continue. So biology is having its own role, but right now, as on today, I don't know how many people are engaged in the biology background, but definitely in the coming future, the biology experts are also having a major role because we are going to habitat in the space in near future.
Wonderful, sir. So can you please tell us your happiest moment in ISRO?
See, the biggest rocket, PSLV booster, that was the 3-meter diameter solid rocket motor, for which the ignition system was developed, designed by me. I have contributed to the design of that. And the first time that igniter was used in the static test of that rocket, and it was a success. As an individual who contributed to the design and development of that particular ignition system, I felt it is a very gratifying moment. I felt it's a big challenge met. I could appreciate myself, and that was a very sweet moment in my life. I can recollect that. So that alone justifies my whole effort taken in the organization. I am very happy to say that.
Very inspiring, sir. Thank you so much for those words. Sir, along with the information about space research, you have given us some great advice on how a student should be and how we can aspire. So much motivation, sir. Really appreciate your talk. As time is up right now, I'm sure everyone enjoyed about hearing about your experience in the ISRO, and I'm sure it inspired a lot of us. Thank you, sir, so much. So, do you have any final words to wrap this up?
Thank you very much. I find that you are a disciplined group. Not many people are asking any questions. Only one person is consolidating the questions and putting. I have not seen many of the faces here. Anyway, how many people are there listening to me now?
Sir, more than 60 were there. Actually, they are inside the classroom, so only individually cannot
so
be
they are
seen.
Following. More than 60 students are following what I am telling.
Plus, live streaming is also there.
I would like to know their feedback on what I told, how much they understood, what way I should have put it, a feedback on the plus and minus, both positive and negative. I would like to get. And I also hope I'll be able to. Sometime later, I may be able to talk to you a little bit better. Sometime later.
Definitely yes. Definitely yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was really a wonderful journey.
I appreciate your institution for this type of a venture for the benefit of the students, because when I was a student, this type of things were unthinkable. True. Nobody has given in my high school or even in my college a career guidance class like this. Okay.
Yes.
The students are benefited by that. No, definitely. They should take lessons properly, positively.
Yeah, it was a very rich exposure to us also. Very happy to hear from you, and feel blessed to have a presence of you who were associated with Dr. Kalam. So we feel highly blessed and honored to have a session with you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Big thanks again to Rajendran sir here for joining us. It was really wonderful, very inspiring. So everyone, this wraps our Career Awareness Week today. Thank you all for joining. Thank you to all the teachers, to all the parents, to all the students for joining us here today. A special thanks to the management and student council for giving all support to make this program happen. Really appreciate all the resources and opportunities. So over to you, ma'am, to formally conclude the session.
Dear students, thank you very much. And we are so honored to have scientist Rajendran with us to conclude the session, the 1 week long series with such a wonderful session we are ending. And truly, some of the other sparks which scientists has shared with us will definitely lead us forward also. It was really amazing world that we had with scientist Rajendran. Thank you to you also. Thank you to each of students for joining. Whatever follow-up is there, definitely we will be taking it forward and looking forward to have more session with you also, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishak.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.